Hey everyone, John here, and we are only 3 days away from the Nintendo Switch 2, which means we're going to shortly stop doing all these tidbits that we find and move on to actually covering the system hands-on. But for now, we've got more Switch 2 news. And let's start with Puyo Tetris 2S. We've already learned this game supports game share, being both locally and online, but it also supports another Switch 2 feature, being the camera. So using any USB-C camera that you have, you can divide the playing fields for up to 4 people, and everyone can have their face be the backdrop of their puzzle field. Puyo Tetris 2S also supports the mouse for a bunch of exclusive games, so there's actually quite a bit of Switch 2 exclusive usage via game share, the camera, and the mouse. These have all been radically undershown so far. It just seems like another full-price Puyo Tetris 2S, and there is no upgrade path, but I do think these are still pretty neat features. And we've also seen Switch 2 Edition gameplay for Fantasy Life I, and I think Level 5 are underselling themselves with this load time comparison, because they start the timer before the load screen starts. They start it on the animation, so I want to show you what the actual load times are, not just the animations. Let's see what the actual loads are. So Level 5's very own comparison right here is at 3.06 seconds, and that's where I would start the timer. So let's see, going from load screen to gameplay, how long it actually takes. 2.5 seconds. Whereas the Switch 1 version, 7.5 seconds. So that's quite a drastic difference compared to what they demonstrated in their loading comparison. But there's one more instance. This isn't loading screen to gameplay, this is just traveling within the game. 2.5 seconds. Very similar to loading the game by default. Whereas on Switch 1, we're looking more around 8.5 seconds. Now Level 5 also show us some actual graphic comparisons, and you can see in this footage here the frame rate is much higher on Switch 2. This appears to be 60 FPS, and while the video quality isn't, like, they haven't output this in a pure 4K, for some it's still 1080p video, you can see that the resolution is far higher. And that does not mean the internal resolution is 1080p, it just means they've encoded the video at that amount. It could still be 4K, for all we know. Now to talk about Street Fighter for a second, because Street Fighter 6 is a Switch 2 launch title. Yoko Shimomura, who is a very famous composer, you'll know them for Kingdom Hearts, Xenoblade Chronicles, Mario & Luigi, and so much more. They're returning to Street Fighter for the first time since Street Fighter 2. You can choose their new song, Edge of Triumph, in the character BGM settings, and this is what it sounds like. And we have a brand new Japanese trailer for Nintendo Switch Welcome Tour. And there is some cool stuff in here. They show a lot of gameplay for the mini-games and also just an overlook at the system. They've revealed if you find all of the hints around the controller, you can go within the controller, see all the components that are there from the offset, and then get even more mini-games and sequels to the prior mini-games. And I really like the look of this game here, where you use the mouse to move the car around, and then tilt the controller up to make it go on 2 wheels to avoid any obstacles coming up. That's really innovative use of the mouse controller. And I know not everyone's hot on this game, it should have been bundled in, but it does seem like it is going to use Switch 2's unique control functions in a way that no other game is really doing. There's a cool snap game where you've got to mix the 2 vibrations, so you feel one vibration, you've got to try and find the card that matches that one in the set. And it goes really behind the scenes to explain the technical features of Switch 2. I think more than we expect it to. There's a scene right here that appears to be explaining backwards compatibility and how it's converting like Switch 1 language into a Switch 2 language. I think that's really cool. So there's 20 mini-games in total, all with sequels, and then there's 12 tech demos underground for finding all the hints. And yeah, these are definitely the sort of thing you'd expect to see on a show floor rather than a consumer product, but I still think it's pretty cool to see this stuff. I remember with Switch 1, I bought 1-2 Switch, and I kept it for a while, because ball count felt really realistic, like a showcase of HD Rumble. Hated the game itself, but I thought ball count, it demonstrates the controller, I'm going to keep this thing. And this just seems to be a much cheaper version of that. Yeah, so I'm not going to defend it not being included, but I think there's some cool things to find in Welcome Tour, probably more than it's getting credit for. Now, here is something absolutely mind-blowing. Pokemon Violet and Scarlet running at 60 FPS. Watch this. This was posted on Nintendo today, so we can't get a proper idea of the resolution given it's from a mobile app, but I want to just demonstrate the distance a moment. Like, let's just completely zoom in on this guy over here, right? And play the video. They are still full rate. They're full rate. Look at that. Let's go back. Full rate movement. Which, like, in vanilla Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you would not get that until you were within, like, 2 centimeters of the Pokemon. I did notice there's some pop in a little bit, but the rate, look at this. So the grass still kind of grows in, but all the Pokemon are moving so finely. And here we are in a city with a human right there. And he's full rate the entire time! Ah! Look at that! Look at that! Amazing. Incredible. This is what being impressed is like. It's seeing things move the way you expect them to move. No other NPCs in this shot other than those guys over there. Let's zoom out a little bit. And they should be full rate as well. Remarkable. Let's just play this scene at full screen a second. So all these NPCs, do any of them pop in? Or are they always in the frame? There's those guys way off in the distance. They do still pop in. You can see, like, there's no NPCs. Let me show what I'm talking about. So right over here, right down there, you can see no NPCs. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's 2. So it doesn't fix everything, but I think it fixes the most distracting things. And most importantly, it looks smooth. It looks smooth, and far more Pokemon now spawn when you're just out in the wild. Look at this. You're surrounded by Pokemon. Nuts. Nuts, everybody. Nuts and bolts. And the last thing I want to show you guys is the update to the Switch 2 album. So on Switch 1, take a screenshot, take a video. They pretty much all just get dumped in the same place. Whereas on Switch 2, you can now filter between the user that took the screenshot, the game it's from, whether it's a picture or a video, and it just makes you wonder why this wasn't always the case, especially with multiple users. If you use your Switch with a family, you're just stuck with everybody's snaps. But now it's just a really easy way to find out which ones are actually yours. And of course, these can be automatically uploaded to the new Switch Online app, a Nintendo Switch app even, so you can just easily get these on social media now that the Twitter sharing is a dead feature. So the album just seems to be overhauled in a really cool way. And there's lots of neat little things that are appearing before the console finally ships in just 3 days' time. And I think that's all we have for today. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. What was your favorite piece of news? And was there anything that we missed? Let us know in the comments down below. And we will see you so very soon for Fast Fusion, or F-Zero GX Online, or Mario Kart World. I could just list every game. Lots of cool things coming. So thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time. Bye, everyone.